Hi everyone, welcome to lesson 5 in this mini course. In the last lesson, we learned why we do but should not confuse charisma, hero worship and influence with leadership. We also looked at distinction between them. In this lesson, we will look at other phenomena commonly confused with leadership, and that is management and headship position. We will learn the following in this lesson. 1. What management and headship position are. 2. Features and functions of management. 3. Association of leadership, management and headship position. 4. Why we confuse management and headship position with leadership. 5. Distinction between leadership, management and headship position. Being a manager or a head presents potentialities for but does not necessarily make you a leader. A leader will necessarily manage. He needn't head at the outset, but he will eventually, in informal or formal capacity. What is management? Management is the process of dealing with or controlling things and people to achieve specific goals for individuals or groups. The word management could be described in various terms as an activity, art, discipline, group, profession, process, and science. For our intents, management is the act or process of planning, organizing, directing, and controlling human, physical, financial, and informational resources efficiently and effectively to achieve specific goals. Management is often preceded by some sort of authorization to function. The authorization emanates from processes such as election, selection, appointment, elevation, or permission into a position of responsibility. For instance, Asiwaju may be unofficially permitted by his family, friends, or group members, or officially elected or appointed to a position of headship or leadership over a group. This gives him the authority to manage all the group's resources for the attainment of the group's goals. Hence, Asiwaju's position as head of his group gives him the authority and responsibility for the group's management. From this, we can deduce the features and functions of management. What are the features of management? 1. Goal orientation. 2. Integration of human, physical, financial, and informational resources. 3. Group activity. That is, it works within the context of a group. 4. Continuous. And 5. Pervasiveness. In other words, it is required in various organizations and groups. What are the functions of management? Kuhns and O'Donnell identified 5 functions of management as 1. Planning, 2. Organizing, 3. Staffing, 4. Directing, and 5. Controlling. According to them, the directing function includes leadership. Bill Davis and Dr. Rayleigh have a list that is similar to the previous one, and they submitted that directing includes leadership. In other words, leadership is about 5 to 20% of management. Headship position. A headship position is the position or office of a head, primacy or command of a group or unit. It is a general tag that describes being in charge, having oversight, superintendence, supervision, or in command of a group such as CEO, manager, HOD, general overseer, and so on. As a generic term, headship, which could be in formal or informal settings, adopts the character of the position it describes. For example, if Asiwaju is appointed as a CEO of a company or chairman of Meat Sellers Association, his headship adopts the functions and features of the position. The position of a head is given for the purpose of making a unit or group achieve its objectives. Hence, headship goes with the responsibility of administration, management, and leadership in order to fulfill its mandate. Let's look at leadership, management, and headship. Management as a process or activity may not necessarily involve headship. However, in organizational settings where it is most commonly used, it goes with headship positions. Indeed, organizations usually have a group of people referred to as management team that runs their day-to-day activities. When it goes with headship, With accompanying power or authority, management provides ample opportunities for leadership. Why then do we confuse management and headship with leadership? We confuse the trio for two main reasons. First, they share similar core characteristics and functions, and second, because of their close associations. The core features they share are group connection, goal orientation, resource integration, and pervasiveness. Also, their common functions include planning, organizing, controlling, and directing. Second, they are closely associated as the presence of one is either a necessary or sufficient condition for the presence of the others. Association of leadership and management. Leadership necessarily involves management. It has a core duty of management of groups' resources to meet the needs, overcome the challenges, and fulfill the aspirations of the group. Management skills are therefore critical assets to leadership. Indeed, leadership cannot succeed without management, whereas pure management may succeed without leadership because leadership has a small percentage of the activities of management. Association of leadership and headship. Leadership may not have a headship position at the beginning. However, due to its nature and functions, pure leadership will eventually acquire some sort of headship position. This may be informal, formal, or both as people recognize and willingly submit to, offer, or reward it with headship. Distinction between leadership, management, and headship. While headship, management, and leadership are closely linked, they still have certain distinctions. The major ones are their emergence or basis in group, essences, loyalty and accountability, and altruism. Emergence in group. By its essential nature, management can be forced on a group, especially in organizational settings. For instance, someone can be given a headship position of a group and with it the mandate to manage the group. Subordinates have no choice but to recognize and accept it. More so, management is naturally demanded by the authority that created a group and its headship. Leadership, on the other hand, is first an individual's voluntary response to his group's needs, and second, it requires the group's voluntary recognition, acceptance, and response. It cannot be forced. Essences, loyalty, and accountability. The essence of management is to fulfill the mandate given to it by a higher power. Hence, its loyalty and accountability is ultimately to the power that mandated it. The essence of leadership, on the other hand, is to fulfill the mandate it pledged to the group. Hence, its loyalty and accountability is to the group it serves. Altruism. Pure leadership is ultimately altruistic. It says, I have come that they may have. Headship or management positions could be held to serve the selfish interests of the position holder. However, once leadership loses altruism, it loses its essence. It's like salt losing its taste. It becomes worthless. But because the public still perceives the leader as wielding authority and managing the group's affairs, they don't quickly recognize that he has been reduced to a position occupier. In conclusion, management and headship positions are not leadership. Headship position usually comes with responsibility for management and opportunities for leadership. They are closely associated with leadership in that they share some of its attributes, but are different from leadership on the basis of their emergence in a group, their locus of loyalty and accountability, and their level of altruism. As we wrap up this lesson, here for you are points to ponder. 1. Reflect on how you discharge management's responsibilities in whatever capacity. 2. Did it come with a headship position, formal or informal? 3. Did you demonstrate leadership in management? 4. How can you improve upon your management skills in leadership? As we round off, Provide your answer to these questions in the worksheet. In the next and final lesson in this mini course, we will look at the final set of words and phenomena such as visionary, pioneering, pace-setting, innovation and creativity that are sometimes confused with leadership. Thanks, and see you in lesson 6.